What's up, YouTube? This is JMilionair here with a review of a shoe that just came in yesterday. Pretty quick for this brand, I guess. This, of course, is the Maniére 3, the black cement version. Apparently they produce a lot of these because it seemed like everybody took a W that wanted them, which is good in my opinion. But overall, still a very dope shoe. So let's get into a quick review of these. All right, so if you're familiar with the first drop of the 3's, which I think is the first actual collab that James Whittaker Group did, or Maniére did with a Jordan brand, they had a different type of box. They had a sleeve, as you can see back there. We'll do a comparison later. But with this new variation of the box, it basically opens like this, which is pretty cool in my opinion, showing the Maniére symbol and of course the 10 years of the, I guess, business or the brand being out. Nice touch, easier than the sleeves that like Travis Scott and I guess their previous versions had. I like this a lot better. It's easier to get to, and it's just a different looking box, which is pretty cool. I don't know why they have, well, I know they're coming out with a Converse collab as well, but of course they have the Jumpman and the Nike Air, or at least the Nike and the swoosh there, which is pretty cool in the box itself. Opening the box, which I'm sure you've seen before, it has Maniére all throughout the top, as you can see. Shiny silver in the box itself. So this, I've already opened it before, but it pretty much has regular standard paper, which I'll take the shoe out and we'll look at that pretty soon. But let me put that to the side. Every shoe, of course. So it has a standard paper and the tissue paper, and I've seen a lot of people have an issue with this part what I'm talking about, and I'm glad mine didn't. But they put the tissue paper on the side because when you first got it, it came with this burgundy, I guess, towel or cover. I'm not really sure what it's for, but this was basically lined in the box as such, and I'm glad the paper was on the side because a couple people I've seen online, the purple will basically transfer on the air here, which I'm glad my pair didn't get that, but I'm not gonna take any chances. So what I did, and I'm gonna continue to do, is just fold this cloth up nicely and put it at the bottom of the box. Of course, keep the tissue paper on there so it doesn't transfer in the future. And of course, keep the tissue paper on the side so that Nike Air stays white. I guess it's a nice touch, just like the box itself. But you can see a little bit in the back on the side where the purple did transfer into the silver. So, and that's a silver. So the white Nike Air is suspect to getting color transfer as well, so I'm keeping that on the bottom. Go ahead and close this off and we'll get into the shoes themselves. So of course this is a variation of the Black Cement 3, which in my opinion is one of the best Jordans ever made. There is of course some changes on this version versus the, I guess, Black Cement 3, as well as the first Maniére collab with the 3, and we'll get in that pretty soon. But let's do a quick review of this itself. Nice touches they did with the perforation on the top. It's an open perforation versus the previous one, which you'll see the quilt was kind of poking over. Still have quilted inside guts, but they did change one thing on the tongue, and now you can see it has just the, if it'll focus, the Maniére stitching throughout the tongue of the shoe, which is pretty cool touch. I'm not sure if they just skimped out on the quilted material itself, or if they just wanted to change it because the first shoe variation was a little bit, I guess I wouldn't say slippery, but it, you know, having an all quilted inside did leave a little bit of a slippage issue. Also, they were a little bit bigger. I'm sure these are true to size, as so I'm told. So another touch on these. So of course the elephant print that, you know, is synonymous with the 3. They put a thick suede on here, which is a cool touch, similar to the first drop. And one thing that I really like is the matte black on the midsole versus the shiny black. One thing I could have probably not have done with is the all age midsole. They probably could have just did maybe the bottom portion. It would have been nice, but I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it's just, you know, the whole aged midsole look. It's kind of getting tired, but they did a pretty good job. It doesn't look horrible. And of course the Nike Air in the back with that slightly aged white, where it's not bright white. Looks pretty good. I guess that does match the midsole. Of course the bottom aged as well with that burgundy, I guess, ore color and the gray outsole right there. The bubble on here is a gray, which matches pretty much the overall color of the shoe. And of course, on one shoe it has the Jumpman, and the other shoe it has the Maniére logo, the A. Inside on this one comes with cream laces in a little box. And of course, the insole in here is Maniére all throughout. And of course, I've seen videos of these, so let's just check it out. Basically says while you were sleeping, written on the actual underneath the insole, which is a cool touch. Cream, like I said, cream laces on one shoe, and the other shoe has the ore colored laces on this shoe. Same difference inside, the Maniére throughout the insole, and let's see if there's any, yeah, so there's writing on this one as well, while you were sleeping. So they both have that, which is a pretty cool touch. I'm probably gonna keep the black laces, of course, unless I'm trying something different with the cream laces later on, but the black laces make the purple pop in my opinion. So that's, you've seen these a bunch of times. We'll get into a little comparison, which is a little bit different, showing what the first brand or the first collab had that's different than these and what they changed on that, as well as a review with a regular Black Cement 3 from, I'm guessing, I think it's 2017, 2018, and they're supposed to release another variation of the Black Cement 3s later on this year, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna go for them since I have these, but I mean, I always love this shoe, so hopefully they do the shape, you know, more true to the OG, and I might pick up another pair of those as well. So let's do that comparison. All right, so sliding these right here with the box over to this side, a little bit in the view, and then what I'm gonna do is pull the original release right here in the middle, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pull the Black Cement 3 itself on this side. And I only took this one out, which I'll show you why, just because they're so old that the aging on one of them is actually starting to get dusty, because these are literally from 2017. So yeah, about 7-8 years old. And that's just what happens with plastic. It starts to get a little white. I think I cleaned it off one time, but I'm just gonna leave it as such, because like I said, I don't really care that much, but yeah. Just wanted to show that is. So of course, the original 3 box is just a little pull top on this one. The Maniére other release was a pull or a top like that. But like I said earlier, it had this Maniére sheath around it, which does make it difficult to get in and out, but it was a nice touch. And that's why I said I kind of like this different variation of the box where you can just split it open and pull it out versus the sheath. But all that to be said, I'm glad they switched it up and they're having, you know, pretty good detail in their shoes. So yeah. All right, so showing, I guess, a side by side. So right off the bat, you can tell the things that are similar, the suede in the front versus the elephant print on the regular 3. You know, this is basically a Black Cement 3. Of course, they have leather on the original release, which is really nice. You could tell it's really supple, really nice leather there. And of course, they put suede here on the ankle and on the eyelets as well as the front. On the Maniére pair, they put, or the Black Cement pair, they put suede here and here, but they kind of put like I guess it's a nubuck on the eyelets as well as the ankle, and they put that nubuck on the tongue itself versus a soft, supple leather. And that's why, in my opinion, the white is kind of better, because they kind of stuck with the leather, which is, you know, similar to, of course, this is not near as quality, but leather tongue, as well as leather on the ankle and leather on the eyelets. Of course, like I said earlier, that quilted material on the tongue itself, as well as the guts of the shoe, and how the quilted kind of spills over a little bit on that part. They changed that by putting quilted on the guts, but of course changing the tongue to have that actual fabric material. And of course, having the quilted not spilling over and just having a raw edge is just a nice little different touch and variation. Doesn't look bad, it's just something different. Of course, on the original, as you could see, that kind of raw edge on the white leather, it gives it a nice little touch. Where, of course, the Black Cement 3s itself doesn't have that, on this pair at least. And of course, on the originals, they basically had the elephant print everywhere, that gray tongue with the red hints on the back, and of course the gray guts with the red insole. Nike Air, of course. One thing I did really like with the Maniére, the first pair, is the clearish kind of cream pull tab in the back, which is dope, as well as the gray Nike Air. And like I said, they had the kind of yellowed bottom of the midsole, but they kept the top and the front white, where they just went all yellowed out on this one. It doesn't look bad because it kind of gets, it ties in without having white and cream, since it is a darker shoe versus a lighter shoe that does have the white that hints on the white leather. So I see why they did that. So maybe it would have looked bad if they would have had white right here and cream here. But like I said, it is what it is. Pull tab in the back, and I forgot to show this, but I mean, I'm sure you've seen it before. They basically have the writing just like on the first one. It says do something about it. Where the original one, it says all we have is each other, written on the back. Nothing on the bottom. Well, actually, let me check. And I never took this out, so of course not. That's why it's all sticky, so nothing on the bottom. Which is a cool little touch. But yeah, overall, it is a nice variation of the black cement 3 versus the white cements. But going over them in hand, and I've said this, that, you know, it's a close tie, but I still am a fan of the white cements just because of what they put in the first drop. And of course, like I said, that nice suede everywhere, quilted throughout, and the leather on the tongue versus the nubuck. But they did a pretty good job as well. And like I said, I love black cement 3s, so I had to get this pair. And they seemed like they were basically readily available everywhere. They were on the social status website pretty much early. And if you wanted a pair, you could get a pair. A couple errors maybe, but pretty much they were available. And then they dropped on, I think, EA for exclusive access for sneakers. And then there's a wider release on sneakers, I think in like a week or so, if not a couple weeks. So if you want a pair, you can get a pair. And of course, that being that high retail of $250, or I think $225 actually, you know, shoot a lot of people away. And of course, the resellers weren't basically gonna pick up a high ticket item. And I think the prices are actually falling on the resale market for these because they were around 3 something, which is a good thing. Things have been changing with sneakers lately, and pretty much they're not going as much as they used to in the past, which is a good thing for people who actually want the shoes, because I'm not trying to pay high if I strike out like I used to do. So overall, pretty dope shoe. Like I said, and I keep saying, I love this pair. I still wear this pair, so I mean, it is a different look. It's just a different shoe, but it is the same shoe at the same time. But of course, the red hits and the elephant print is always classic in my opinion, and it's a pretty classic shoe. One of the best Jordans in my opinion ever made. But yeah, rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know how your experience was with copping this shoe, because like I said, if you wanted it, you could pretty much get it, and you still have a chance of getting it when it comes out on sneakers and some other sites probably. So yeah, rate, comment, subscribe. Peace.